Okay, yeah, that's recording. Right, so today I'm going to talk about Venom 2. Venom, Let There Be Carnage is its official title. I saw it last week at the cinema, and this is going to be my review on the film. I did record a separate review of it closer to the time I actually watched the film, but it's been such a nightmare trying to upload it and use software and images. I thought I might give this a go. God knows whether this will actually end up on the YouTube channel, but if you're watching it and you can see me and hear me, then something's gone right, which is good and, to be honest, unexpected. But yeah, Let There Be Carnage. So this film starts off with a flashback. Woody Harrelson's character is called Cletus Cassidy, I think his name is. It's a variation on that if it's not. And he's like a psychopathic killer. And he's in this sort of centre for troubled youths, violent youths. And he's in a relationship with this girl who has a superpower where she screams really loudly and it messes people up. She's taken from the institution they're at, and he thinks she dies, and it sort of, sends him on a downward spiral. I mean, he's already in there for like murdering his family, so he's in a pretty bad place as it is. But that's the opening of the film, and it's quite a big storyline throughout. That's one thing that I wasn't particularly impressed with in this film. They try and make Carnage's character, and Carnage is the name of this Cletus Cassidy, when he merges with the symbiote that makes him like a sort of alien killer thing, like Venom. Yeah, a big part of the story is him getting back to that girl once he's become all powerful and extremely vicious. And I wasn't a huge fan of that, as it felt like they were trying to make him a sympathetic character, when really from the comic books and from the 90s cartoon, Carnage isn't sympathetic. He's just like this wild killer. Like, he's even worse than Venom. Of course, in these films, they sort of make Venom the anti-hero. He's comical. It's Tom Hardy. People like him. He's sort of like Peter Parker. He's like sort of down on his luck. He's obviously older than Peter Parker, but he works for a newspaper. He's a journalist. But yeah, so I wasn't too sure on that. And Woody Harrelson's performance, well, he has a really bad ginger toupee / wig thing that I'm not too sure about. And he definitely tries to embody the sort of wacky, insane supervillain persona. He sort of his performance sort of reminded me of Jim Carrey's performance in Batman Forever, the Schumacher film, when Val Kilmer was Batman and Tommy Lee Jones was Two-Face, Harvey Dent. So yeah, his performance not all that great. Tom Hardy's good in it. If you've seen the first film, he has a similar rapport with the Venom character. He's like sort of comes out of his head and he's just like chatting to him, and they're always arguing back and forth. There's some funny moments now. I laughed out loud a few times. I think a few other people did, so I wasn't alone with that. Though I was seeing it by myself. So yeah, it was Tom Hardy's good in it. Stephen Graham's good in it. Stephen Graham's the guy that was in the Arctic Monkeys video about the prostitute. He's also Al Capone in Boardwalk Empire. He was in a recent prison drama on BBC that got a lot of plaudits with Sean Bean, and his Scouse fella, I think. Scouse actor, I should say. And he's also the bloke who's in This Is England, the sort of like real frightening one, the violent one. He's good in this. He sort of plays like a J. Jonah Jameson character. He's like the editor at the newspaper in which Tom Hardy's character works. Tom Hardy's ex from the first film, if you haven't seen the first film and you're thinking, do I need to? Probably not really. But in that first film, there's like his love interest is this actress, I don't know her name. And there's a scene quite early on in this where she calls him up she's his ex-fiance, and she calls him up and says, like, I need to tell you something, and he goes along to that with Venom, and Venom's like massively in love with her too, so, and he's like annoyed that he blames Tom Hardy for them not being together as some sort of real weird menage a trois, I guess. But yeah, I mean, the action's good in it. That's a positive. It's got a good runtime. I think it's only about an hour and a half, which is welcome. Many films are, I feel, too long in the tooth. But this isn't one of them. Like I said, the action's good. If you're a big Marvel fan, the post-credit scene is interesting, and it doesn't come right at the end of, you know, all the names and everything like that. It comes like just after the first few names, which is good. Do they waste the character of Carnage? I think they just tried to make him too sympathetic, and the love story, I don't know if there probably is a version of that in the comic book somewhere, but it was no good for this film, I don't think. And yeah, it was all right. Like I say, if you've got a Odeon cinema pass, or you've got a voucher, and like I say, you like the films, go check it out. Tom Hardy's good in it. But if you're not that fussed, just wait till it gets on Netflix or something. But overall, it was all right. If you go and see it, let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed the video, it being an actual live in-person one, somewhat. But yeah, all the best for all of you. Peace.